Good morning to the AT class 2020/21. It's going to be a great day on the trail today, and I'll be hiking the AT, better known as the alternate trail. It's pretty rugged out here. Temperatures probably 75. Very nice day, no wind. And today I'm going to have to determine if I'm going to go Sobo, or maybe I'll go Nobo, since I tend to like Nobo. As you can see, the trail is pretty wide, easy and flat through this section of the Nobo part. This is 7 April, and as you realize, most of us have come off the AT and have to do something. I'll let you see my shadow. I am carrying my pack because I continue to try at least keep a little ability to do some walking and hiking on the trail. And I'll say I am looking like this as I hike. That may be right in the sun, walking through. Wow, what a beautiful day. The trail is, as you can see, pretty smooth through here. It does get a little rugged in a few feet. There are some water hazards to be found, and I also will have to do the uphill portion. It has about a 1, maybe 2 foot rise here in Florida in this neighborhood, so I will climb the 1 or 2 foot rise hill, and then the easy part will be going down the backside when I go down the 1 or 2 foot rise on the backside. This loop I walk is actually right at 1 mile, so I could do the loop a number of times and simulate walking the AT. Most of us have come off, and when I go back on, I think I will start just south of Shenandoah National Park. Perhaps, I think it's Waynesboro. We'll start there, and I'll actually start hiking right at the National Park entrance and hike the Shenandoah, going northbound from there. Depending on when we get on, I'll go as far northbound as I can go. Try that out. And if I get all the way north, then I'll come back to Waynesboro and walk south for a ways as the weather would be changing. Here comes a pretty drastic curve. I'll have to negotiate this. As you can see, there's a little bit of water up there to the left. I'll try and avoid the water hazard. And I do have a flowing river over here for my water supply. Today, since I'm just hiking a little bit, I am neither carrying food nor water with me. I'll just have to gut that out around the corner, and more trail hikers. See you in a minute. Negotiating these obstacles. And then I'm on the, you can't hardly tell now, but this is the rise. And it goes up just as the film goes out of view. That'll be the top of the rise. And then I'll start the downhill portion. Starting at Shenandoah Park, I have be dropped off there, and I'll actually start possibly a few days of slack pack, getting back in shape from being off the trail. As I go through the park, my wife can stay at the Big Meadows Lodge, drop me a couple days, and then as I get towards Front Royal, she'll depart back for home, and I'll actually do the majority of packing with the pack and the overnight staying at the huts or shelters as they're calling them. So, beautiful day out here. Trying to keep a sense of humor as we've all come off the trail, and looking forward to getting back on and joining up with the class of 2021. See you now, Mike. Now top the ridge and avoiding some of the obstacles as they go past me, some of the other hikers. And as you can see, I'm now starting on the downhill portion where I'll actually lose 2 feet of elevation here. Dropping down, it'll probably warm up as I get towards the bottom of the valley. It was considerably cooler up the top there, probably dropped down to maybe 73 degrees. Light winds, well, actually no wind, not even a light breeze. Keeps it working out here. And as you can see, maybe it doesn't show on the camera, but once again I have some fellow trail mates going here. These people are actually riding a bicycle on a trail. They look to be Sobo. I'll keep this going just a little bit so you can see the Sobo. And negotiating up. Here's a side trail going off. Who knows where that goes to? Might be like Benton Mackay or something where it really goes off to them. Lost, could get lost out here relatively easy. So there's my fellow hikers, and I'll click off while I go by. Negotiated the downhill portion, made a couple turns, and coming in here to the walking the valley floor now. There is an alternate trail on the alternate, and people could perhaps get off this trail and get lost. They're not aware that the AT has to take a turn here, but luckily for us who are hiking a trail with the blazes, the trail is well marked, so you can continue to stay on the proper trail and not get too lost as we hike through and negotiate this dangerous area. With some of these nicer objects through here, pretty nice on that part. Just about at the halfway point for today's mile-long hike. Grueling. This is the halfway point up here at this next trail junction. I do hope to see some of you guys seriously getting back on the trail and joining us. It'll be quite an adventure, and every one of us have some stories to tell as we go through how we survived the COVID-19 debacle, quarantine, however we want to put that down, and get back to enjoy ourselves throughout the heat. Once again, thank goodness for trail markings, because the AT alternate trail takes another turn here as I head through the flat valley back around. I will be so glad to see some of you guys again. We had some real great stories even for the short portions we had, and I enjoyed it and looking forward to much more. Mike, loaded with temptation for getting off the trail and enjoying a day in the local areas. These folks are here, and on this side we have another set of people who have got their trail vehicles out, and also, if you'll note, there are temptation vehicles to tempt people to come off the trail and get out with these type recreational vehicles. Thankfully, I can avoid that temptation. We'll stay out there. To that part of the trail where we have the tunnel, I have to go into this low overhanging branch out here. It's probably only 14 feet high or so as I go through this dangerous part of the trail, making another turn. I don't really have roots, but I do have to dodge those pine cones that come from this obstacle, and then make the turn, go down through here again. At least without the obstacles, and it's relatively flat terrain, I think I'll be able to negotiate most of this. No water hazards to view, although I do hear some coming up. Yes, well, you can't see it in the film, but there is a water hazard just coming on over here, getting ready to make rain. So, on we go. Catch you in a minute, Mike. On the AT before I head down to the shelter. It doesn't look like there'll be any trail magic out today, but there's my trail magic people's location. And around the corner we go. Just a short ways from the shelter. And we do have one small water obstacle to get through before we get there. As you can see, the river is flowing just ever so slightly through here. It was a lot larger earlier when one of the lakes was draining to it, but as the summers come by, it's drying up. However, it hasn't totally dried up, and it's still going over its banks, crossing from one side of the valley to the other over there and flowing through that way now. So we've had to negotiate that. And as you would say, there's other water hazards and obstacles to be crossed through. So you see this one, danger of getting caught in the path of one of those could cause you to get all wet and have your pack. Have to put on my raincoat, rain cover if I get caught out in that stuff. Yeah, that could be disastrous. Get my sleeping bag wet or something. As I come around the corner, one very large tree marks the area for the shelter. Kind of flat through here, and just shy of the shelter, of course, there is another alternate trail, which could cause you to get lost if you wander off the wrong direction there. Large tree, and I will say that as we come into the view here, just last Saturday I was camping in the camper there. We were camping, a beautiful location, set up very nicely. Camper didn't move, and spent a wonderful time there. Now I'm gonna have to go off trail here as I negotiate this back to the area of the shelter. I'm gonna have to go rough it through here, and I have to get under this tough terrain. Then I'm gonna have to cross this area full of roots, tripping hazards. This is rough. Here we go, negotiate this, and then I'll have to duck under there, negotiate back to the area where the shelter is off trail here. And then I'll be pitching my tent for the camp. This is a full moon night, and I anticipate that could be a lot of activity. I do have one activity to cover here, is that if I don't put this to off around the middle of the night, as you can see, I'll have 3 rainstorms come in tonight if I don't get that into the off position at this point. I'll be drenched, or one rainstorm will get me, 2 will miss me. I can tell you that right now. Looks like I'm coming across the camping location. Yeah, I think I'll, since it's gonna have some rain, there is a little drop in terrain there. I'll probably pitch my tent right there. In fact, I'll put my tent right about where my shadow is. It looks like it levels out there. Be a good terrain. Nobody else in the shelter, so I'll just camp outside here, outside the shelter. Y'all be good. See you 2020 on the trail. Northbound. Hope to meet a lot of you. I will enjoy some stories. Mike.